Now today, train passengers are facing another day of travel chaos. Drivers are striking for a second time this week, causing most services across England to be cancelled.
Train drivers working under ASLEF and the RMT unions are walking out over an unsettled dispute concerning pay, job security and working practices.
And operators say strike action may also affect services on Saturday. So is there any end in sight? Our national reporter Paul Hawkins joins us from Euston Station. Paul, what's happening today? Looks to be lots of action on the picket line, but not much action elsewhere on the railways.
That's pretty much it, to be honest, Philip. A picket line here this morning at Euston where there are no trains running. 80% of trains across Great Britain not running today, and most of them in England. But there is a knock-on effect, of course, for trains that travel into Scotland and Wales, Northern Ireland as ever, unaffected. And you were saying, is there an end in sight to this dispute? Well, with ASLEF, there certainly doesn't appear to be. Mick, Whelan, the General Secretary of ASLEF, pretty unhappy, pretty angry with the deal from the Rail Delivery Group. That's the group that represents train companies. They've put an offer on the table of 4% backdated to last year and 4% this year in terms of pay increase, but with conditions attached, which Mick Whelan says is unacceptable. Here's what he's had to say about how the talks are going this morning.
Deceitfully, the RDG put out a protocol which they led for a pay offer over 2 years that hadn't been discussed with this trade union, hadn't been through the framework agreement that we'd agreed with them to allow some sort of national talks to take place in our fractionalised industry, and it's probably set the whole process back months and months. If they want to negotiate via the media, I'll tell you what I want, and then you can relay it to them. They can come and talk to us in a few weeks' time. But we don't behave like that. We behave honourably. So we'll go back into talks on Tuesday in the hope that trust can be rebuilt and we can find a way forward.
So, interestingly, what Mick Whelan also had to say was that he thinks strikes are more strike dates will be announced. He says it's highly unlikely they will be. But in terms of the RMT, there could be a settlement next week. There's an offer that's been put on the table by the government. They're consulting their members. Spoke to Mick Lynch on Sunday. He said they're going to come back next week with an answer on that deal. So there's potentially a settlement there with the RMT. But in terms of ASLEF, the majority of which look after the train drivers, it looks like this dispute could carry on unless there's a significant movement from the Rail Delivery Group.